off in a child's pose and just take a really long time to get there. So let your knees find a comfortable position and just have a little bit of a rock from side to side. And then let your hips start to travel back towards your heels. And as they get a little bit heavier, maybe your elbows and your forearms, and then your forehead drop to the mat. And you can carry on that swaying side to side if that feels good, just giving your neck a little bit of a release and your forehead a massage as it ripples side to side. And then when you feel ready, let everything settle, maybe close down your eyes. And just feel this sense that you're coming back into the same shape where it all began for you, as an embryo, all curled up and supported by liquid and water. And this is a memory we hold deep within ourselves. So as you visualize how that felt, see if you can let everything soften into that memory. Can you let your body rest a little bit more into that space underneath you? And just notice how your body meets the space around you as well. And just let yourself breathe without any force, just letting the breath flow through you as it needs to. And just feeling the breath starting to spill a little bit more into the edges, taking up a little bit more space around the corners of your body. And then from here, we're just going to take a few rocks, rolling up on towards the crown of the head, and then lowering all the way back down into child's pose. And you can take this a couple of times if it feels okay. And just taking a release into the top of the head and the neck and the shoulders. Starting to activate those cranial nerves which stimulate the vagus, the ventral vagus complex, which is when we feel connected and relaxed and in that state of flow. Good. And then reach your hands a little bit further forward, spread your fingertips into the ground, and as you press into your hands, you're going to start to lift up into your cat pose now, rounding the spine. When you get to the top, arch the spine, let the hips lift back towards the heels. And then again, rolling up through cat, using your inhale to lift. And then your exhale to let your hips straight back towards your heels. And as you roll through the spine, feel like you're moving through liquid space. So all of the space around you is almost like a warm, thick honey, helping support you and hold you as you move. We'll just take one or two more, letting the movement feel really slow and fluid, no rush. How does it feel to bend your elbows and really let the joint spaces soften? The wrists, the fingers. Good. Next time you're coming back through your child's pose, press your hips towards your heels and let that roll you up into kneeling position. And then start to, again, tuck the tailbone, arch the spine, and then release and ripple back down through your spine. And as you bring the chin to the chest, you're going to roll all the way back up to that seat. just let the arms flow with the natural movement of your spine. So you're not trying to move them into any position. You're just seeing how they naturally follow the movement stemming from your spine. And they might even trace the floor around you, almost like they're making ripples through water. Beautiful. Next time you're coming up to that kneeling position, send your hands behind you, push your fingertips into the floor, and let that rebound from gravity lift you up into mini camel. Let the front of the body lengthen and take up a bit more space. Send the breath into your belly. And then with your exhale, release your hips. Reach your hands forwards and then take a big roll onto your tummy. So bringing your thighs and then your belly and then your chest towards the floor. And then as you arrive, take your hands a little bit wider. Maybe come up onto your fingers so your elbows stick up like wings. And start to peel your chest off the ground, growing a little bit longer. And then exhale, soften the elbows and roll all the way back. Okay, let's take that again. Almost like the back of the body is helping roll up through. And then the front body takes you back down. Nice. We're going to use an inhale breath to come back up into center. And then as we exhale, we'll drop our right shoulder down, looking over the left shoulder. As you inhale, come back through center and then switch sides. Just allowing the neck to flow freely with the spine. And then find your way back. Slide the hands a little bit closer to you. And as you tuck your toes under, we're going to come back to downward dog. And just have a little bit of intuitive movement here. Letting yourself wriggle. Maybe pedaling the feet or giving the head a shake, a nod. Notice where you might feel quite open and quite spacious in your body. Become aware of where you might not feel good today, where you might feel a little bit sticky or resistant. And just meet it with curiosity, no judgment, no need to change it or fix it. And when you're ready, take a little walk of your feet forwards towards your hands. And bend your knees so that your ribcage can just rest onto your thighs. And then you can either let the arms dangle down or maybe rest the hands behind the back of your head, letting the elbows get heavy. And from here we'll take a bit of a ragdoll, swaying, releasing side to side. Just feeling the bones and everything becoming like water and liquid. Really, can you embody that essence of fluidity? We're not made of straight lines, we're not linear in any way. So just let yourself kind of spill from side to side. And then when you're ready, bend the knees and roll all the way up through the spine. And when you get to the top, let the arms reach up overhead. And then imagine you're diving in a big pool of water. As you roll the chin to the chest and bend the knees, you're going to roll down through the spine. And when you get to the bottom, look forwards. Roll the shoulders back and arch the spine to rise. And then your arms might naturally want to reach up and follow that movement as you come all the way back down. Landing in that big pool of water. And when you get there, look forwards and roll all the way back up. And we'll do that one more time, just really feeling into every vertebrae and every space between the vertebrae. Next time you come up to standing, start to shift over onto your left foot and peel that right foot off the floor, taking your knee in towards the chest. Settling your gaze, find a moment to land. And then again, like you're moving through that thick honey, can you slowly step back to your high lunge, almost like you're moving in slow motion. As your back foot finds the ground, bend your knees, so spreading the weight a little bit more across the feet. And then as you cactus the arms, reaching back, let the gaze lift. And with your exhale, going to sweep the arms forwards and round the spine. And then just flow between those two spaces. So inhaling to reach back. Exhaling to cast forwards. You can always lower your back knee to the ground if that feels a little bit more supportive. But feel this sense of swaying and opening into the front of your body and then the back of your body. Good. The next time you come forwards, bring your hands to the mat. And as you lean into your hands, sweep your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. And as you bend your knee, let the left hip kind of stack on top of the right, like you're pouring a little bit of water into the right side of your body. And then we're going to take a big figure of 8 with this left knee. So we're going to sweep it round and bring it across to the right wrist, and then the left wrist, and then back and up. And as you take that a few times, feel like you're stirring a little spoon around your hip. Getting into the corners and the edges, the inside, the outside, the front and back. And then next time you come round, let that left knee land to the outside of the left wrist or to the edge of the mat, coming through to pigeon. And you can let your body get a little bit heavier. Maybe you want to untuck the back toes. And just take your time as you exhale. You can start to release forwards if that feels okay. Maybe resting on the forearms or letting the head fall towards the hands. And just bring your awareness back into your breath and feel it waving through. And you don't need to be perfectly still here. You might take a gentle rock side to side. And just notice what sensations are being offered up. That might not necessarily be a physical thing. It might be a thought or a feeling. But just hold space for it. And then when you're ready, find your way back onto your hands, tucking the back toes under, and come back to downward dog. And from your down dog, come up high onto the tiptoes. And then as you bend your knees, start to lower towards the ground and feel like you're coiling up a spring. And as you feel that momentum build, you're going to press into your feet and let that roll you all the way forwards to plank. So round the spine to come forwards. And when you get to plank, start to lift the hips back and up to downward dog. And just take a couple like that, rounding to come forwards. Arching to roll back. Really articulating through every part of the spine, the upper, the middle, the lower back. And then let the sitting bones get wider each time they lift back. Good. The next time you come forwards to your plank, hold there, take a breath. And then as you exhale, start to lower to the ground with or without the knees. Use your inhale to find your cobra pose, growing nice and long from head to toes. And then exhale to release. Good. Let's come back to our downward dog. And then bending the knees as you look forwards, you can step or maybe find a little hop to the top of your mat. We'll lift up halfway, inhaling. And then releasing forwards as we exhale. Nice. So let's roll up through the spine, pressing into the feet. And with an inhale breath, reach up. Start to roll chin to chest, bend the knees and let the spine follow, diving into that big pool. As you look forwards, can you arch the spine and ripple back up? Good. Taking the arms overhead and just letting the breath flow and lead the movement. So each movement lasts the full length of your breath. And as you're moving through liquid space, there's no rush. Everything is a little bit slower, a bit more considered, maybe a bit more easeful this time. Next time you come up into standing, start to shift over onto your right foot. Be really conscious of how that left foot leaves the ground. Really spreading and grounding through your right foot. How does it feel to bend your knee to help you support your weight as you step back to your high lunge? Feel that foot meet the ground, and as you bend the knee, can you start to reach back, bend the elbows, hug the shoulders together? And then with your exhale, sweep forwards and round, chin to chest. And then just find that flow forwards and back. Maybe the weight shifts more into the back foot and then the front foot. Almost like a bubble is around you and you're kind of pressing into the edges, but still feels contained. Good, let's take that one more time. Next time you come forwards, hands to the floor, leaning into the hands as you sweep right leg to the sky. And then bend that knee. Feel like you're pouring water into the left side of the body. And then we'll paint those figures of 8 with this right knee, bringing it around towards the left wrist and the right wrist and back and up. Notice if the shape of your hip feels any different on this side. If there's anywhere it feels a little bit sticky, or if it feels quite smooth and free. Good, next time your leg's coming forwards, bring your right knee out wide to the edge of the mat, letting the shin release. And then just let the hips get heavy, so there's this sense of your body going. And then with your exhale breath, you can lower down into your fold. Again, maybe you're still, maybe there's a subtle rock side to side. Let yourself receive all of the information, all of the feedback being offered up by the body. See if there's something you can release or let go of. When you're ready, walk the hands back in. Let's come back to our downward dog, tucking the toes under and pressing back. And then lifting up high onto the tiptoes. As you exhale, bend the knees and hover low towards the ground. And then press into the feet and like a wave, take it forwards to plank. And with your exhale, let the hips lift back and up, downward dog. As you flow in that big circular, that continuous movement, Notice if there's anywhere that you could soften and kind of use a little bit more to support you. So can you soften and bend the elbows, the knees, the joint spaces? Really nice. Next time you come forwards to plank, hold it there. Take a breath. And with your exhale, lower down, and that might be to the floor or maybe to chaturanga. Inhale, come through cobra or maybe upward dog with thighs lifting. And then we're going to lower the knees to the floor as we take it back into one final child's pose to finish. So just let the hips get really heavy, let the forehead find the ground. And if it feels good for you, you can just rest your hands behind the back of the skull. Applying a little bit of gentle pressure to help stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system and come back into that state of rest. And it might feel nice to use your fingers or the heels of your hands to just kind of massage into the sides of the neck and the back of the skull. Maybe down into your shoulders. And just let everything become still. And again, feel that sense of returning back into where it all began. Leaning into that support of the ground underneath you. We'll take a slow breath in through the nose, maybe holding at the top for a moment. And then with your exhale, open the mouth, sigh your breath out, and just let something melt. When you're ready, gently roll up to a seated position. Maybe take a roll of the shoulders when you get to the top. Gently blink open your eyes. And then bring your hands together at heart center, just bowing your head down towards your heart. We'll finish there. Thank you so much.